Greetings, dear ones. I'm Cryon of Magnetic Service. It's just a brief moment as I greet you. I want you to feel this. There are so many who would come here to a meeting like this. I speak to those who are here in person, who have not experienced this before, the channeling. And as we have said so many times, it may take a while for that human psychic part of you, the part that goes beyond the meta part of physics. It may take a few moments for you to understand something is happening you didn't expect. For those who have come in doubt, you need to put yourself in a box so that the energy won't touch you. The box of belief is what I call it. Because that belief would say that this is nonsense, that the man could not be channeling. And yet there is so much energy that says otherwise. The discerning part of the human being and the human heart, the pineal and the brain, working together, has an antenna that then develops intuition. It's always out. Some of you have learned to live by this antenna of intuition. My partner teaches all about it. It goes beyond the logic. It goes beyond what you would call that, which was the bell-shaped curve. It's not average. You're picking up things that are not necessarily the things that would be logical when you only use your brain. And what has just been taught in this very place is that that part of the human being, which you call thinking or consciousness, has incredible power. Power may not be the right word. It's not force. It's strength. It's strength of compassion, of determination. And it moves things. This is what we teach. Now, in these few moments together, you get an opportunity to discern whether this is real or not, and feel the energy. The energy is developed from one place. The central source that you call God is inside you. It's not sent to you from some other place. It doesn't get to you at the speed of light. It actually comes from within. And some of you often will feel a feeling of belonging, of home, when you hear me. And I'll tell you why. Because I live there too. I want you to know something inside you. We said it last night. You're going to have to love yourself to make anything happen in this planet. More now than ever before. My partner just spent an hour with the proofs that consciousness affects physics. And now I'm going to ask you this. The big aha. Do you realize that you can push your own body, your own health, your own joy factor any way you want? You can push yourself right to the grave if you want. If that's your desire. And you would say, why would it be my desire? That's the point. It is not. And it would not be. And yet, dear ones, the habits of your culture take you there. The things that you believe that you are doing correctly and properly for others sometimes drags you there. Here is the challenge. I promise you that if you can create some kind of balance and joy in your life, it affects those around you in ways you have no idea. This is what we have taught now for decades. an extension, literally, of yesterday's channeling and yesterday's message said that humanity is not going to get very far in this new age of shift and change and energy unless it learns to love itself, unless it starts to change how it behaves, instead of staying with old paradigms that you grew up with. The biggest shift of the planet is you, if you haven't figured it out. It's not events. The evolution of humanity is you. It's not going to be wild cards, inventions, any of the things my partner talks about. They can't happen before you change you. There are many sitting here listening to this message, apart from this room. I'm speaking to them as well. The timelessness of these messages is obvious. There is a potential that long after my partner is gone, there will be those listening to it, and that's now. And my voice will say the same thing now to them. Love yourself first, and watch things around you change. It's the hardest thing for old souls to do. Now, why is this? How many times have I said this? I should say this in different ways so there's variety, but I can't. I've got to tell you the same thing over and over. Old souls have suffered in an old energy for eons and battled the energy, and you have habits of how to battle it. And suddenly that energy shifts and you don't have to do the things you used to do. You don't have to fortress yourself. You don't have to batten the hatches, as they say in nautical terms. You don't have to strengthen this and that so the energy won't get you. Because, dear ones, you're carrying the torch, that light of the future. That's who you are. And you don't have anything to be afraid of in a new energy that the darkness will then come around you and get you. In fact, it's going to run from you because you carry that torch. And wherever they see the torch, that darkness will run away. That's who you are today. And yet so many of you haven't even lit the torch. Is it that you don't believe it? That's the task. Light the torch. Let's get going. I have seen this on other planets. This is a critical time. Tonight I'll talk about it even more. Extension, perhaps, of the channel before, but stands on its own. A critical time for the planet. Literally, the speed of change is up to you. How many of you will light the torch? Because the darkness cannot exist when there is light. I'll be back. And so it is.